I'm back in Pattaya. I've just come back from an amazing 1 week trip, mainly on Koh Phangan. And it was so different from Pattaya. And I go through that usual process of wherever I go, I question whether I could live there and think that it's better. The grass is always greener. And it always makes me question whether I've made the right decision living in Pattaya. And it makes me feel sorry for Pattaya in some ways. My view here is nowhere near the same as what I've just experienced on one of the most beautiful islands in Thailand. Not quite Koh Tao, but right up there. But my discussion today is about why naysayers, and sometimes me, approach Pattaya all wrong. And that's why we conclude with something very negative, which is not true anyway. It's like having a debate on whether you should live urban, rural, town or countryside. You could be in the UK and you walk through the Yorkshire Downs and think, this is beautiful, this is where I need to be. But that's short term. The reality is, put yourself full time and soon those countrysides and cows become less appealing, and maybe you start pining for a bit more action and more things to do. It's that trade-off. Pattaya versus island life, same parallels. Koh Phangan, stunning beaches, wellness, eateries. I really liked the people and the way of life there. There was a party town element, but that's not what Koh Phangan is all about. But if you were living on Phangan and you were getting a bit tired and needed some more action, then you've got to jump on a ferry, then a car, and then the nearest lively area would probably be Phuket. It's not straightforward. It's yin and yang. What do you want first? Do you want to live in the town and then spend a lot of your holidays on the beaches and the islands, or do you want to spend more of your time on the beaches and the islands and this wellness and sort of health environment, but then have the option to come into a town like Bangkok? I'm not sure. I think because of my situation, and probably many of us as expats, Pattaya and the town will have to get the nod. Often because of work, unless you're a digital nomad, but just because of everything else. The hospitals are better. You don't want to get caught short if you're on an island and you need to get a speedboat somewhere. Schooling is better, although Phangan and Samui offer international schooling. But in Pattaya or Bangkok and even Phuket, you get some choice. I think with Pattaya, what you need to do is not compare it with the wrong things. It's not apples and pears. You need to find apples and apples. And that's why don't look at Pattaya versus the rest of Thailand or the islands or things like that, because they're not the same. They're different. You might be wanting to compare Pattaya with your life back in the UK or Australia or America, and then you'll start to understand the benefits and strengths of living in Pattaya. Not only is it a wonderful location for expat, I'm not saying I'd go as far as to recommend my friends this as a holiday location, because why, when you've got much better, in my opinion, places to go, unless you want to hit the clubs and bars and enjoy that beer bar culture. Because the islands in Thailand are absolutely world class. Go there first. There's enough action in Samui, for example, if you also wanted a few beers in the evening. So I'm back from Penang, and it took me a few hours to realise that Pattaya is the right choice for me. I love it as a gateway. It gets me to Phangan in no time. When Utapao Airport is back fully functioning, it's only one flight a week at the moment to Samui, then very quickly I could easily get down there and do a long weekend or a few days, and it's not going to cost me too much. But what Pattaya also gives me is places to eat, gyms, massage, fitness, and that full range that's more complementary and accommodating for families and those with wider needs. So it's the sum total of Pattaya that gets the nod for me. Don't judge Pattaya harshly, but understand how it works, what it offers, and how it fits into the lifestyle you want. If you say Pattaya is sleazy and beer bars, then the true can be said for Phuket and Bangkok. But I'm sure you're not going to judge them the same. These are the naysayers, because you don't want to. Somehow you want to knock Pattaya. I felt a little bit shy actually when I mentioned Pattaya to a lot of the expats in Phangan. I know I shouldn't do, but the stigma's still there. And a lot of it does come down to the people. In Pattaya there is a wide mix. But you've also got an ocean marina and some really nice villas and pool villas being built. So it's starting to change, and the retiree terms and conditions for getting a visa here made it much tougher for those guys that had no money, really had no money, shouldn't be in a foreign country, had no health insurance, and were a liability and damaging the expat reputation. I speak to Bangkok Pattaya Hospital, and they've got millions and millions and millions of baht that's gone unclaimed for, because, believe it or not, they'll still treat people rather than turn away a dying person. I see far less vested, fat, drunken Farangs sitting on a doorstep of 7-Eleven, drunk. I remember speaking to some of them, and they said they'll get drunk twice a day, one in the morning, one in the evening. That's not a reflection, I think, and I'm not trying to be too snobby here, on how you should spend your time in a foreign country as an alien and a guest. I also don't want to get involved in the Pattaya great debates online about who does the best fry-up and where the best fish and chip shops are, and whether baked beans should touch a fried egg. It's not for me, but it doesn't mean Pattaya's not for me, because it's something for all people. I still have a fried breakfast once in a while, but again, going to Pangang, the food, by and large, the restaurants were better. The island of Koh Pang, the sum total of the offer, the quality of the food, the organic onus on quality was high. I was really impressed. But I still like Pattaya. Day-to-day living, it's fine. There's my piece. Don't judge Pattaya too harshly. It is what it is, and know what you're comparing it against until you come to its conclusion. I live here. I enjoy other areas, often much better, but I still choose Pattaya as my base to live. That's it. Keep safe. Done about Thailand. Back in Pattaya.